Texas State versus Arkansas State, man. Both 3-2. The Sun Belt Conference. And how the order is going to go, of course, we handle it as I go first, Khalid goes second, Sora goes third. The next game is me, Sora, and Khalid. So we handle in reverse style. Yes. All right. So Texas State and Arkansas State is very, very interesting for the fact that they have two very good quarterbacks. Of course, you know about 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 that came over from James and Madison, and he's absolutely been balling out. Right. And a guy that went to my dad's school at East Forsyth High School in North Carolina, in Kernersville, North Carolina, Jalen Raynor is the quarterback for Arkansas State. The Red Wolves. Yes, I know several of his friends. Now that I think about this. So, but anyways, he's not having as good of a year as what if you've ever seen him actually play. He's literally put Arkansas State on his back the whole season. They have had some games that obviously that they should have won. That's why they have 2 losses already this year. But when you look at the statistics overall, and there was a very interesting one that I pulled out. I'm a stats guy just like Don, but I don't think it's the end all be all when it comes to football. Texas State, they have the better third down percentage. That's one thing I'll always look for, right? You're going to meet third downs. It's one of the statistics that could tell you a winner or a loser in a game right away. Who can capitalize on their opportunities when your foot is right about to go through the door before the door slams, right? Texas State has the better. They're number 44 in the country at third down percentage. And Arkansas State's not that far behind them at 65%. So as you start digging down more the road and you start getting to some of the weapons, you got Mahdi and Wallace are the two running backs, or you get to Rucker and Williams as the 2 wide receivers. And you start seeing the numbers are very, very even between those guys outside of yardage on the ground. Then I went into kind of where the points per game were. Texas State is number 14 in the country at points per game, 38.5. A lot of it has to do with 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀. He's already has 15 touchdowns this season. And they're also really good on defense against people that are putting points up against them. They're number 59. So when you look at that versus what Arkansas State has, the one glaring stat that 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 has 5 interceptions this far. Arkansas leads the country in opponents' interceptions thrown percentage. So they're at 48% of passes that get thrown are intercepted by Arkansas State. It's nasty work. So can 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 keep them in the game, or is he going to be throwing a bunch of interceptions in this game and Arkansas State is going to sneak one out? I'm in the camp that I'm going to stick with Texas State. I think they're going to win this game, but I think this game is way closer than what people are going to give it credit for. But it's really going to come down to Mr. Jalen Raynor to come through and put the team on his back again, but also clean up his interception issues because he only has 4 touchdowns versus 5 interceptions so far this season. And he's 115th in QBR, which is not great. But again, if you watch him play, you can almost justify the way that they are playing because they really doesn't have anybody, especially on that defense, that's able to help him out. And on the offensive side, he just has inconsistencies all over the place. The offensive line it's not that great either. So with a combination of all those things, I say that Jalen Raynor is the one that's going to, again, put the team on his back to almost squeak out a win here. But I think 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and the boys, just as a unit, they're so much better than what Arkansas State is right now. But they're both 3-2 for a reason. So, but give me Texas State.
Just me now?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one I went next on. My bad.
Oh, no, you're good.
You brought up the records, right? Both of them are 3-2. But when I look at not player stats, but when I look at even just the scores themselves, I wouldn't say this is always the right way to go about it. But when you look at who they played, how much they scored, how much they allowed, right? How much they won by, how much they lost by. Texas State's 3-2 is a better 3-2 than Arizona's or Arkansas State's. the competition and margin of victory and defeat tells me a lot here. Texas State, yeah, they lost to who was it? Sam Houston State, right?
Yes.
Not a good team. They lost by 1, right? That's not a good look. You lose, I believe, I was at home against Arizona State by 3. That was a great game. That was very entertaining. And then Arkansas State, they got blown out by, I think it was Iowa State, and they lost to Michigan. And what was at first, a pretty valiant effort.
28-18, only 10 points off.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive that they were able to do that. So Arkansas State has it in them, but then you also look at the fact that Texas State hasn't scored less than 31 points this season, and Arkansas State has only eclipsed that mark once. Texas State puts up a lot of points, and Arkansas State doesn't. So when I look at how I break this game down, the defensive line of Texas State is going to be super, super important because they've generated 21 sacks through 5 games already. That's good for second in the nation, but tied for first in sacks per game in FBS. So they're getting to the quarterback at a very high rate. Arkansas State has allowed just over 2 sacks per game for a total of 11 this season. And Jalen Raynor, as you brought him up, is a dual threat guy too. So if the defensive line for Texas State can not only generate pressure, force Raynor into mistakes, but also limit his ability to scramble or make plays with his legs, then Texas State will probably control this game and limit what Arkansas State is able to do in terms of moving the football.
Right.
And on the flip side, I look at Arkansas State, and the thing they've really struggled to do so far this season is run the football. The team averages 2.7 yards per carry, and their top 3 rushers average no more than 3.6 yards per carry, which is not good by any means. At the college level, you're looking for that, if you want to have a really good mark, you're looking for 5 or 6 or more yards per carry. 4 is like kind of pedestrian in the college level, but 3.6 is like, ooh, we got some work to do here, right? But that's going to be the key to the game is can you run the football? Because Texas State has had trouble defending the run. And both of their losses, right, to Arizona State and Sam Houston State, they got ran all over. So if Arkansas State can run the ball well, they haven't been able to do it up to this point, but if they can manage to do it this week, they will have a shot and keep themselves in this game, right? They still need to have an answer for Jordan McLeod, right? Who's thrown 15 touchdowns this season. But if you want to stay in it, if you want to keep up with this Texas State offense that has scored so many points week in and week out, you have to be able to run the football. It's both teams' weaknesses, right? Texas State can't defend it, but Arkansas State can't do it. Arkansas State has to find a way to move the ball on the ground because this is Texas State's kryptonite, right? If they can do that, they can win. I just don't see them doing it. I think Texas State will win the game. I think that they're really going to stifle Arkansas State and Jalen Raynor. And really, Arkansas State hasn't given me any reason to believe that they can run the football effectively. So because of that, I got to rock with Texas State.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, same. I mean, go ahead and put it up there. It's a clean sweep for Texas State. But, we look at exactly what 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀 said. Texas State can't defend the run. Arkansas State can't run the ball. So, you kind of are taking that factor out on both sides, just out of this game entirely. I mean, we look at Arkansas State, and at the time when Michigan was, number 9, it was the first game of the year at Ann Arbor. It went by pretty well. It was, unfortunately, it was just the 1 pick 6 that Raynor threw to Will Johnson that just kind of pulled the game away. But even then, it was still like 28-18 was the final score.
Right.
And, David Warren threw 3 interceptions against Arkansas State. Then we look at, the rest of the games. Tulsa, 28-24. South Alabama, they won, but it was 16-18. This was before South Alabama kind of woke up. Iowa State, they get blown out against a really high powered, not just
like the Phillies
I would
right
say
now.
a really high powered, offense. Then, we look at Texas State, and rather than even just talk about we'll just do the quick rundown. 34-27 Lamar, 49-10 UTSA, lost to Arizona State 31-28, beat Troy 38-17 October 3rd, and then their loss was against Sam Houston, as Khalid mentioned, their second, which was a 40-39 where they scored 22 points in the first quarter and scored 10 in the second. So it was 32-21 at halftime. All 21 points came for Sam Houston in the second quarter. And then they being Texas State, only scored 7 in the third quarter. And that was it. And even then, Jordan McLeod, 29 for 39, 326 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jordan McLeod, was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year last year. When he played at JMU, and now we're kind of noticing a bit of the difference there. But the dude still has 15 touchdowns for 5 interceptions with a 69 completion percentage. It's
not bad.
It's not, especially for a new team. Obviously, just new team, new everything.
Think about some of the quarterbacks that went to Texas State that were supposed to be the guys. Now he's the next one.
In the season, 85.9 QBR, which is 9th in the nation at Texas State. We're talking about here. So, even then, just again, you have to take kind of the run game part out because Arkansas State can't run the ball, so you don't really have to worry that much about Texas State's run defense. They were good at defending the ball. That wasn't their problem against Sam Houston. Their problem was the run game, which is why they lost that. So, as long as Texas State's passing defense is fine, and if Jordan McLeod is just safe with the ball, I think it's Texas State. I think it can be close, or it'll be close for a while, and then Texas State is just going to blow them out the water again.
Right.
It could be a repeat of Iowa State for Arkansas State. Who knows? There's a lot of states here.
It could be, but I really think that this matchup is going to be way closer than what we're giving it credit for.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty close. I think it'll be like a 3-point
secondary
game.
Is what scares me for Texas State because that stat is outrageous. They're number 1 in percentages of throws to be intercepted. That's
nasty.
Arkansas State? Huh?